Hey gang, that was of course the opening to the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds by the Beatles. Something that I've always thought was a very beautiful beginning and also very intricate, and the conception of it is really quite brilliant. So I want to go over that opening with you, but also the rest of the chords will go to the song will go over, and I also want to show you an alternative to playing that lick up here. We can play it down here as well, which has its own beauty. You probably also noticed I'm playing a different guitar. This is an Epiphone Sorrento. It's a reissue of the 1962 version. And I thought I'd do it as sort of an homage to John Lennon because he played an Epiphone Casino, which is one of those guitars that looks like a 335, but it's actually fully hollow. And this is as well. It's a thin line, but it's fully hollow. So I don't know. I don't know if it sounds like it or what, but what the heck. I figured I'd just do it. So we'll go all over all of those things in just a minute, and we'll see you then. All right, gang. First things first, you can download the tab from the description below. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Now let's first go over the main riff, and I'll play it through slowly one time. All right. So let me just show you the riff itself, and then we'll maybe have a couple of comments about it. The riff is pretty straightforward. We're going to play it all on strings 1, 2, and 3, or 3, 2, and 1, I should say. And we're going to start with 9, 10, and 12, and that kind of forms a funky A chord. It's like an A triad without the third in it. More on that later, but anyway, it's 9, 10, and 12. And you're going to pluck it as 3, 2, 1 in terms of the strings. In terms of the strings, 3, 2, 1. Now, what we're going to do is, let's not worry about the names of the chords. Let's just think about what's going on with this riff. We're taking the bottom line of that voice and we're moving it around. So if we take the bottom line, move it from the 9th to the 12th, we get this. All right? So now we have 12, 10, and 12, and we're going to play it on strings 3, 1, and 2. So 3, 1, 2, like so. Now we're going to move that bottom voice again down from 12 to 11 and play 3, 2, 1. Again, we're not moving the top two strings, we're playing 11, 10, and 12. Lastly, we will play the following. We'll have to shift a little bit and we'll play the 10th. So we'll move it from the 11th to the 10th, and we'll play that. And then we'll play on the first string 10, pull off to 9, and then play 10 on the second. So like this. Here it is all together. All right, now it's important to try and keep those strings ringing out. And that takes a little bit of practice, but not too much. Once you get used to the fingerings, should be okay. Now, if you did want to name those chords, like I said, that first one is an A chord, but it's ambiguous. Is it a major? Is it a minor? I think that's actually just really brilliant. A jazz player probably would not want to use a chord like that. They want a richer chord like this, or something like that, where it's 3 notes in the voicing. But here we're doubling 2 of the notes, the 2 notes E. Those are both the same, and we're putting the A in there. So it's kind of like an A major triad, but without the third. But without that third, you can't tell whether it's major or minor, which is kind of interesting. So it goes like that. Next would be this, which is kind of like a 7th chord, an A 7th chord. That's kind of like an F sharp minor, which is the relative of the minor. And this is kind of like an A augmented chord. So you can think about it that way, but I prefer to just think about that moving bass line. And that works for me. You play that a couple times. Third time around it has this little lick in it. And that is just a double stop here on the 10th fret. You're going to bar the 3rd and 2nd strings, and you're going to play the 13th on the 2nd string, and play the second and third strings like so. And then single note to the 10th, single note to the 13th, and then double stop 10, 10. Okay, like so again. Okay, the last time around it kind of goes like this. Here we're playing on the second string, the 10th, on the first string, the 9th. Okay, and then playing the 12th, and then back to the 9th, and then we're playing the 10th on the second and the 12th on the first. So it's like this. And then the following notes during that key change will play on the first, 10, 13, or I'm sorry, 13, 10, 13. Okay, let's go over the chords now. Now, I think to appreciate this, we talked about that moving bass line in that riff. We can think about that also. If we want to think about chords, I think maybe the most productive is to think of simply an A chord with a moving bass line. So we can think of it as going kind of like this. Here's an A chord with an A bass. That's with a G bass, F sharp bass, and an F bass. Okay, so I'm just moving around that bass line. It does that once, and then it goes, so it goes like this. On a boat on a river with tangerine trees and marmalade skies. That's an F chord. G and then A again. You answer quite slowly. The girl with oh my gosh, kaleidoscope eyes. F again. Okay, now here it goes to the cellophane flowers part. That's a B flat to C. That's a towering over your head part, which would be an F. Back to a B flat. Okay, now we go to a C. Look for the girl with the sun in her eyes. Now that's a G chord. And she's gone, a D. All right, very interesting conception there. Just basically playing around with the key. It's moving all over. If there's one thing about this song, there's just a lot of little surprises in it. The fact that you're going from the F to the G, and that key is normally like an A minor, but you don't play an A minor, you go back to the A, that riff right there. It just works really well. All right, so that's that, and then the only thing left is in the chorus, which is the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which is basically just that's G, C, and D. I'm putting an F sharp and a bass there with my thumb a couple times. And then it goes back into the... And that's the chords. All right, last thing I wanted to show you was if you were going to play this riff, if you wanted to play it down here, let's say you were playing an acoustic, you just wanted a richer sound, one way to play that is to simply play this. And it's the same concept here. What we're doing is we're taking an A chord, basically we're playing on the 4, 3, and first strings all the time here. And so we're playing on the first one, we're going to play an A chord by playing on the 4th string 2nd fret, 3rd string 2nd fret, and an open 1st string like this. And then I'm simply going to move that voice on the bottom 3 frets up, just like I did in the opening riff, right? So it's going to be exactly the same idea. So I'll move this E up to here, which is the G. And again, now I'm playing 5 on the 4th, 3, and 2, and 1st strings respectively. I'm playing 5, 2, open. Then moving that 5 to a 4. And the last one is just a little bit different. I'm moving the 4 to a 3 on the 4th string. And then I'm playing on the 2nd string now, and playing 3, pulling off to 2, and then finally ending up on the 2nd on that 3rd string, like so. Here's the whole thing very slowly again. And that is that, gang. Well, that's it, gang. The opening riff, the chords, and that alternate. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. I really love this song, and I hope you do too. I hope you got something out of this. We'll see you down the road.